Today's video is the top 10 breweries from me, Rocker's Beer Review, for 2023. So keep watching to see which ones are in the top 10. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. It's the end of the year, so it's time to do a little review of the top 10 craft beer breweries, in my opinion, are the great craft beer breweries of 2023. There's a lot of old faces and there's a few new faces in there. So without further ado, let's go through the top 10. I've decided to put these in order as well. So starting from 10 to 1. Now in 10th position, it's a bit of a funny one, this one. It's a brewery called Asus Brewery. They're a Latvian. I want to say Latvian. I think they're Latvian. They're certainly an Eastern European brewery. And you know what? I've reviewed none of their beers on the channel this year. But I want to put them in my top 10 because I've drank about 3 or 4 beers and they've all been excellent from them. They're one of those sort of, it's always one of those things where I buy lots of beers and I think, yeah, I want to review that. And then sometimes I'll sit down and think, I'm too tired to do a review, or I've had a couple of beers, I want to just have a nice beer, don't want to do a review. And for some reason, it's been the Asus one, which I've always had in the fridge, and I thought, oh, I'll have that one. I won't review this one. First time I had it, I thought this is a cracking beer, really, really good. They do IPAs. What they do is triple dry hop, which seems to be a bit unusual. Not every brewery does triple dry hop, but they do triple dry hop IPAs. And I have had 2 or 3 of them been great. They've had an anniversary selection of beers. The sour beers are really, really good as well. So I've got to put them in my top 10, and I've got to also obviously make sure that I'm going to actually review some of them in 2024. But they've been a great brewery, I suppose. So check them out if you see them. So that's I'm putting them in 10th position. I probably would put them higher if I'd actually reviewed some of their beers on the channel. In 9th place. It's a fall from grace, but they're still in my top 10, and that has to go to Beretta Brewery. They've been in the last couple of years in my top 3, consistently good beers, but they definitely dropped off. They've probably only made their way into my actually top 10 because I've had a couple of really good beers. One of them, Wi-Fi Beef, was probably, was up there with one of the best beers I've had. And also Swam the Straits of Johor, which was a double IPA right at the beginning of 2023. That was a really good beer. But I've had a few hit and misses from them, either good beers or not so good beers. But I still think that they're in the top 9, and I want to give them the benefit of the doubt that maybe they'll come out, swinging in 2024. I just hope that they're going to start getting back to their best. But I've still put them in my top 9 and top 10, and they're in 9th position. In 8th position, another new brewery for 2023, and that's Beretta. You might have seen my previous video, which I did, which was putting this in my top 3 beers of 2023 from Beretta. But I've had a couple of other beers from them, couple of other IPAs that were really good. Really soft mouthfeel. They really got their water really good. It's another, they're from Romania, Beretta. I'm looking forward to what more they will do in 2024, and I want to drink more of their beers. I haven't drank enough of them, but I still think they've been very, very good, the ones I've drank, to make it into my top 10. I'm putting them in 8th position. In 7th position is Manchester Brewery, Sure Shot. Now, I actually went to the Sure Shot tap room. It's a real bugger to find if you ever go there. It's in Manchester. It's underneath the station, but there's no sort of easy route to know how to get to it. But I did finally make it there one Thursday afternoon, and I was going to do some reviews from there, but it was so quiet. It was like literally me and my friend were the only people in there. But it was some good beers in there, and I've had some really great beers from them this year. Quite a few reviewed on the channel, but quite a few I haven't reviewed on the channel. But I think they're one of those breweries that are consistently good. They make some great beers, some really interesting sort of, say artwork, but some of the names of their beers have been really good. Lots of themes and stuff like that. They're using sort of like a lot of sort of, 80s culture and stuff like that. We had a Baron Greenback beer. We've had obviously the Mr. Blobby one. They've done ones like which I don't think I reviewed, but the one which was like the you buy one you get one free, the sort of double glazing thing. Lots of sort of 80s 90s sort of throwbacks really to things that people know, and I think they've been very clever on that. But the beer's been pretty good as well, so I'm putting Sure Shop in 7th position. Another brewery that I think have been consistently very good, and actually when I read it now, I'm surprised they're only in 6th position, but that goes to Beak Brewery. I think they're a really good brewery. As I say, they're worthy to be in the top 10 easily. I've had lots and lots of good beers. A couple of slight misses. The pale ales are not so good. I've had an odd IPA, not so good, but generally pretty good. And if I go and buy a beer from Prost Bowl Shop or my local bowl shop, then I will probably always gonna be buying Beak beer. So I think that they're definitely worthy in the top 10, and they're in 6th position. In 5th position, another Manchester brewery. This is Track. I think that I've had some really good beers, both reviewed and not reviewed on the channel. Their birthday beers, I was a little bit disappointed with the Gold Top, but the double IPA and certainly their IPA were very, very good beers. And I think consistency is another thing which Track do very well. They make really good beers, so I'm putting them in 5th position. In 4th position, and there's another one where I'm thinking I should have put them higher, but in 4th position is this brewery, Rivington. Again, some of the best beers I've had this year. This one here, which was my #1 beer of the year, Don't Wanna Wait. But also this one, Evil Dead 2, another really great Rivington beer. But we've had a couple of other good ones. And obviously they make beer in big 500ml cans. And consistently very, very good. So I think Rivington are definitely going to be in there, and I'll put them in 4th position. In 3rd position, a brewery that I think, again, are consistent, remind me a little bit of Polly's. I'm not quite sure why that is. There's just something about them that seems to be a bit like Polly's. They make lots, they release lots of different beers. I've drank quite a lot of them, and that's Avex. They're a Liverpool brewery, pretty local to me here in Chester. But like certain things like unreadable metal logos, I've still got the can sitting here in front of me. That was a really good beer. I've done lots of different beers with lots of great artwork. I've had lots of beers I haven't reviewed again on the channel, but have always been pretty damn good. They could almost run away in terms of the amount of beers that I've drank from them. I've probably drank a dozen or so beers from Avex this year. Haven't reviewed them, but again, I don't want to overwhelm the channel with 1 or 2 breweries. But I think Avex are really, really good. And my thing I want to do in 2024 is go to their tap room in Liverpool, because their beers are really, really good. And the top two breweries, I should say, haven't really changed. Well, they haven't changed from last year. So in 2nd place, Verdant. I mean, they're a really good brewery. I've had a lot of beers from them, always been good, always at least in the recommended, if not highly recommended. There's something about Verdant that they just know how to make really good beers, and so I'm putting them in 2nd place. And in 1st place, again, no surprise for anyone who watches any of the videos on my channels, but the #1 brewery has to be for me, Polly's. Again, supermarket beers, both their Infinifold and Melting Rose, which was one of the top beers of last year. Been really good, but the New Zealand IPA we've had from them. Lots of different IPAs and pales I've had from them. I drink a lot of Polly's that I don't review on the channel, mainly because I don't want to overwhelm the channel with lots of Polly's stuff. But I drink a lot of Polly's generally, and they've always been good. I've had one bad Polly's in all my time, and that was that Cashmere one, which I think was 2022, the end of 2022. Might be early 2023, but that was the only bad beer I've had from Polly's, and I've had probably, 50 or 60 beers from them. Really good brewery, make great beer, lots of releases. I miss a lot of beers from them, but really good value as well. Yeah, I mean, what else can I say? I still think Polly's are the brewery to be beaten. I don't think they're necessarily in everyone else's top 1 or even top 3 or 5 breweries. But for me, I've always loved Polly's, and I've always felt that they've always given me what I want from a craft beer brewery. So in 1st place is Polly's. So that's my top 10 breweries. Let me know your top 10 breweries. I'm sure it'll be quite different than mine. But I think these are very good breweries. And which are the ones to watch in 2024? Well, I think there's a few sort of contenders. I want to see Northern Monk come back. Vault City have dropped out. I just haven't really drank enough of their beers. Quantock, they've dropped out. I haven't had enough of their beers either. But I certainly think that some of the breweries like Baron are certainly a brewery that I think are going to do good things. I'm still waiting for Nothing Bound to get better. People sort of say how great they are, but I've not quite had ones that are really great. But there's lots of breweries that will be coming into the forefront, even though I think a lot of the breweries are still struggling in terms of the cost of living is still high for them, and beers are going up in price anyway, so they are struggling to make ends meet. But I hope that everyone will continue to support these smaller craft beer breweries in 2024. And as I said, let me know in the comments what you think your top breweries are, even if it's only the couple of breweries that you think are really, really good. Is there any breweries that have really pushed out this year, even though you may have drank from them in previous years? Or are there any breweries like, say, for me, Daya, that have really been really good, but they've really sort of dipped over this last year? Let me know in the comments what you think. And until the next one, which will be the next video, will be my top 10 albums of 2023. You know what you can do. Drink good craft beer and keep on rocking.